Radio. Shout it.
What's happening? The question is your phone, Beehive Radio, shouting and stepping in the building. I got my Carolina fam in this thing. Petey Pablo, what's good with it, boss?
What's happening?
Man, over here taking it easy, Petey. Now, Petey, can you take me back to day one when you realized that you had a love for music and that you had to go ahead and crank that thing up?
Yeah, man, it goes back, since I started walking. I grew up in a musical family, and it's just been a part of my life, all my life.
Exactly. So now, when you came out with that Raise Up, was that the first song you recorded, or had you already been getting busy before that?
Yeah, I've been recording. I started recording in like 98, like professionally recording in 98.
Yeah.
And we put together the album at Buddha's and Shamello's, the guys from New York, and tragically we just lost one of the two guys that helped me put together my first album, and it's been a crazy time, man. I've been going through a lot, dealing with losing so many friends and family.
Yeah.
I had actually put together the album, and my demo tape was my whole album besides the 3 songs that Timbaland put on it.
Damn.
So it was a blessing, man. It was destiny, and it was meant to be.
Talk about linking up with that guy Timbaland, man. When you realized that you was about to link up with one of the hottest producers in the game, and that he was gonna lace you with some tracks, what was going through your mind at that time, and how did y'all boys even link up?
Well, that story take us all day, but after I got signed to my record company, Jive, I started going to all the Jive functions. So anything that had Jive name on it, I wanted to be a part of it. And I've always been a go-getter. I didn't always sit back. Never have I ever just sat back and waited for opportunity to knock on my door. I always knocked on opportunity's door. So when I started going to all the functions, I started meeting all the different artists. And crazy thing is, I had already been affiliated with Busta Rhymes and his management, which was, and again, one of the homies that are no longer with us, Chris Lighty and Mona Scott. We had all became cool. And at the time, they were also managing Missy Elliott. So when I went to one of the functions, I seen Mona, and Mona introduced me to Missy. Missy asked me to come to Miami for Memorial Day weekend. And I went down there, and she was like, well, we're going to this club. You need to come hang out. I'm like, all right, cool. I went to the club. And Missy was like, come here. I want to introduce you to somebody. She was like, Tim, this is the boy I was telling you about. And Tim was like, hey, man, I've been looking for you. I was like, hey, man, I was looking for you. And from there, man, it was magical. And again, like I'll go to places, and I tell people this all the time. You can't catch a great white shark fishing in a river. You got to go to the ocean, man. So all your hopes and your dreams, you can't sit around and expect, to find, find diamonds in a haystack, because diamonds aren't in a haystack. You got to go to a coal mine, if you want to find a diamond. You want to find something that doesn't grow in America. You got to go outside of America and find it. So anything that you want in life, you got to go find it. You can't just sit around and wait, because there's a lot of talented people that are working in Walmart. There's a lot of talented people that are working at the gas station. There's a lot of talented people that are working at the hospital, that didn't have that extra to get up and go get it, get up and go find it. If it's, people say all the time, and now they're trying to use social media. It's still, in some ways, it's a good outlet, but in some ways it's not. Some ways you still got to get up and go get it. You can't sit around and wait for it to come to your house. It ain't a stimulus check. They ain't gonna send it to you in the mail.
Exactly.
Not all your hopes and your dreams.
I feel you.
And that's why a lot of people give up on them, because they don't see outside of their box. You know, if they live in North Carolina, they've never been outside of North Carolina. So anything outside of that feels unfamiliar to them. So, you know, it's a lot of people scared to take that leap of faith. And if you believe in yourself and you have other people that believe in you, and I'm not talking about the yes men, because the yes men will send you outside in an outfit that don't match and be like, oh yeah, you fly as hell. And then when you get joked on and you get Joan on, then, you know, now you're looking crazy with egg on your face.
Exactly.
And like I tell people, sometimes you only got that one opportunity. And if you don't take the chance to take that, you'll never make a basket if you don't shoot the ball. You know what I mean? And that is a simple way to put it. If you want to make a basket, you have to shoot that ball. No matter how many times that ball hits your hand, if you wanted to go in that goal, you're going to have to keep shooting it. And it ain't going to go in every time. It ain't going to go in every other time. You know, again, what I did was a 1 in a million shot. People call that a 1 in a million shot. Had not stood there and shot a million times, you know, I would have never hit it.
Thanks.
So, and I'm telling you, it's even the garbage can get a steak every now and then. You know what I mean? So, hey man, you ain't got to be the best in the world, man. But you know, if you apply yourself and you believe in yourself, then somebody else will believe in you. So people just gotta get up and take that chance, man. And
those are facts. What was those initial studio sessions like, being in there with Timbaland and them?
Well, my first, again, I'm a rare breed. I'm a different kind. So when I first got in there, I knew that I didn't know what this world what that entertainer world, what it consists of. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people want to start talking as soon as they get there and want to be the big shot. No, shut your mouth, open your eyes, and open your ears. And so what I did for almost the first year I was with them, I just sat back and I just watched and I just observed and I just looked. And, you know, the questions that I would have, you know, I wouldn't be boisterous or I wouldn't be obnoxious with it. You know, I would ease in a little questions every now and then, but I would ask him the right questions. Mm-hmm. What does that button do? What those keys do? You know, and then when they would leave and go hang out or like go out for the night, I would stay in there with the engineer and ask him, hey, well, what does this knob do? You know, so I learned for the first year that I was with him before I even really got turned up. You know, I just sat back and absorbed everything that I was a part of, because I knew this was a new life for me. And it's very easy for you to get in something and to wreck your car if you don't know how to drive. Thanks. So, you know, I sat back and I learned, and I kept my mouth closed and I kept my eyes and my ears open. And I learned for the first year that I was with him. And so that's what made me so musically inclined when it came to professionally recording. Because now I don't need nobody in the studio. I can go in the studio, I can produce, I can engineer, I can arrange, I can write, you know, I can do it all. So, you know, that come from actually learning what I call the craft. Mm-hmm. So, and that's another thing that people don't do. Like the worst thing in the world is for somebody to say to me, okay, well, I'm gonna hit you back when I can get some studio time. Like, how are you an artist and you ain't got no studio time? Yep. You know, or you don't have a studio of your own. You know, especially when they made them back in the days, it started out with an inbox. Mm-hmm. Wait a minute. Unless somebody took it upstairs. But yeah, they probably took my little inbox upstairs. But I mean, I got them all over the house.
Yeah.
I got them all over the house. But it started with an inbox. Mm-hmm. And that's just like a basketball player not having a basketball goal at his damn house. Like, how the hell you call yourself a basketball player? You ain't got no basketball, you know? And how can you call yourself an artist if you don't want to take the time to learn everything about your craft? You can't just want to do one thing and not know, because that's how people get messed up in the game, because you don't know. You don't have the knowledge of what you're doing or what it takes to do what you do. And that's one of the big falling outs that me and my label had. Because they wanted to charge me all this money for my second album. And I was like, okay, cool. I got it. $4 million is what I owe you for the album. Great, no problem. So when it came time to do the third album, I don't need to come to your studio. I don't need your engineers. I don't need your studio time. I can do everything in-house. I don't need the producers that y'all telling me to work with. I can do everything in-house. So now you give me the $4,000. Matter of fact, you ain't got to give me $4 million. You give me $2.5 million, and I'll turn my album in. No, Petey, don't work like that. Why don't it work like that? Because now, see, what they thought was they had this country boy that didn't know no better. Because I left North Carolina and went to New York City. So nothing against New York people, but up north people think the down south people are a little slow. Yeah. And it ain't always that way because I'm a kindred spirit. So that means I feel like I was here before my time. So again, I wasn't blinded by the masquerade of the glitz and the glamour. I wanted to educate myself and make sure that I wasn't one of those stories that you see on Behind the Music where they done stole all my money. So now I'm sitting here and I ain't got no coins, and I ain't got no, cause I done got beat out of all my bread, so I wanted to make sure I wasn't one of those stories.